The very warmest of welcomes to you indeed. The setting is the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku, Azerbaijan. A familiar place for World Cup competition. Great to have the FIG Apparatus World Cup Series well and truly underway after Cottbus got the season started. Now we head along the Silk Road to the National Gymnastics Arena. Pleasure to have your company. My name's Olly Hogben. I'll be talking you through the next couple of hours of action. We have 5 finals coming your way today. We'll start with the men's floor competition. We'll then have the men's parallel bars and women's vault finals running simultaneously, and the men's rings and women's uneven bars finals as well. And that will conclude our coverage today, the first half of this doubleheader of gymnastics action over the course of the weekend. As is customary, the AGF trophy will also be presented today. That's a special award given by the Azerbaijan Gymnastics Federation to the gymnasts in the women's and men's competitions with the highest execution scores from the qualification campaign. It's separate from the FIG World Cup events, but it is a feature of all gymnastics competitions that take place here at the National Gymnastics Arena. A new year, a new Olympic cycle, a new code of points. I'll go into some of the finer details of the code of points changes as we go through the broadcast, but let's face it, we've got several years to get into that, so we won't get too ahead of ourselves over the next couple of hours. But there have been some changes, and all of that meaning that we will see over the next couple of years the routines start to bed in and find themselves. You know what it's like when a code of points changes. Sometimes it takes a little while for the routines themselves to actually acclimatise to the new scoring system. As the judges go through their training and they go to judge competitions and things are reviewed, and they go back to their national federations and have conversations there, it takes a little while actually for the routine to really be best suited for the code of points. We're in the embryonic phase of a brand new code of points. The men's floor competition, and these are your finalists. The top performer in qualification, Milad Karimi, will go second in the order. A very decorated gymnast, great to see him back in World Cup action. We're also going to keep an eye on Matsumi Kazuki of Japan, who will go fourth in the order, the second best in the preliminary round. Well, it's lovely to have an announcement in the arena in celebration of International Women's Day. And we will have a celebration of women's artistic gymnastics coming up for you today and tomorrow, with 2 finals today, 2 finals tomorrow. Welcome all of you, wherever in the world you call home. And welcome to a gymnastics event taking place on International Women's Day on the shores of the Caspian Sea in Baku. So these are your contenders in the men's floor competition. We did have Eddie Penev presented, albeit very briefly, a little too briefly for him. Milad Karimi, Dimitar Dimitrov, Matsumi Kazuki, Tapan Mohanty, Nazar Cheperny, Igor Sharamkov and Yuri Yemelyanov. As is customary, we will have the split warm-up system in operation. So the first 4 gymnasts will get some contact time with the apparatus. The men's code of points certainly is the one where the lion's share of changes are to be scrutinised. And one of the most interesting things is that 8 elements now count instead of 10 in men's artistic gymnastics. That is quite a strong change and will result in some... A little distracted there, sorry. That is quite a strong change and will result in... I'm just going to give up trying to make this point. As I was saying, there are 10 elements reduced to 8 now counting in men's artistic gymnastics. And on floor in particular, the gymnasts have to dismount with a double salto, so we'll keep an eye on what that means for the construction of the routines. They've also lost 5 seconds of the maximum time of the routines, down to 70 instead of 75. So some interesting changes there for us to take stock of. Natsumi Kazuki has only competed at 2 previous World Cups. They were both the Baku World Cups last year and the year before. But he won the floor title in September of last year at what's known as the All Japan Super Specialist Championships with a score of 14.3. Now he scored 13.5 in qualification, but I think it's safe to say that Natsumi Kazuki has got a little more that he can give and could be a genuine contender to take top spot, depending on what we see, of course, from Milad Karimi. But yes, he's going to be a pleasure to watch based on what we've seen of him domestically. And I'm sure many of you know that one of the most interesting features of World Cup competition is that you get to see gymnasts from Japan sometimes who don't feature hugely on the national team in major competitions, because let's face it, the Japanese national team for men is about as strong as any gymnastics team can get. So it can be very hard to earn a place in the squad, and these World Cups are often a chance to see some rare gymnasts and to really enjoy their work. Moments away now from the start of the men's floor competition. You're watching the Baku World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics in combination with the AGF Trophy. It's time for the men's floor final. Eddie Penev from Bulgaria will be the first to go. He was the 6th best in the preliminary round with a score of 12.966. He's been a World Cup medalist on floor, most recently at the Cairo World Cup last year. Nice opening tumbling pass, a little stabilisation required, but very minor. Nice cleanliness of shape in flight. Just had a little deterioration of the leg position, twisting there. Very nice presentation of the Wendeschwing. Now there's an interesting new requirement in the men's floor exercises, that scale or balance position, and I'm sure you could see there that that was actually one of the trickier moments for Eddie Penev from an execution point of view. A lot of gentlemen have said that. Actually, it's a return to days gone by when men's floor routines required that balance, that scale, and for a lot of them, they're frankly not accustomed to doing it. Very experienced gymnast to get us underway. Gentleman who has competed for both Bulgaria and the United States of America over the course of his career. Graduate of architecture from Stanford University. .966 in qualification, a difficulty score of 5.2. One of the higher difficulty scores, but we are going to see two gymnasts who had considerably higher than that in qualification, including the next gentleman. He spoke with great emotion, Eddie Penevert, the experience of witnessing his brother Kevin going to the Olympic Games in Paris. He said it was the realisation of a family dream. His own Paris hopes affected by injury. But he works so closely with his brother. Yes, he very much guides him, but he's said it's the other way around too, that Kevin is a gentleman who pushes him so hard in training. They give each other a great deal of support. .466, that's quite a step up from the preliminary round. Execution was much stronger. Now this is Milad Karimi, top qualifier, 13.833, the 25-year-old from Almaty in Kazakhstan, who is a two-time Olympian. And this is a gentleman who was 5th in the floor final at the Olympic Games in Paris and indeed in Tokyo. Oh yes, beautiful pike position, secure landing and real time in the air too. Twisting into front tuck work, it's complicated, and he did have a 5.7 difficulty score in the preliminary round. Very nice stable landing coming out of the twist position. The diagonal armed handstand, stable. Well to control that back step, stay in bounds. That was a pretty tidy looking scale. Does wrap the body in tightly. He's got some very clean looking gymnastics in the air, Milad Karimi. He won the gold medal at the first World Cup of the season in Cottbus. Those of you who've been watching World Cup competition for some time will know Milad Karimi very well. He's been out there on the World Cup circuit for years and years. Actually made his senior international debut in a World Cup event when he was only 17 and won a medal on floor. Again, a sense of tidiness of form, keeping the knees together. Good sense of precision to his tumbling work. Only a small adjustment. It'll be interesting to look at this in light of the 8.133 that he got for execution in the preliminary round. Because one imagines that it might be a little stronger from an execution standpoint. Oh, it's a lot stronger. 8.5 for execution, 14.3 for Milad Karimi. So he goes into the gold medal position by some way. "28-year-old Dimitar Dimitrov from Bulgaria, second Bulgarian in this final. He's from the southwest of the country in Blagoevgrad, which is a small town at the foothills of the rather exquisite Rila Mountains. Certainly some height there. Third best in qualifying, by the way, 13.366, so a definite contender to earn a place on the podium. That's a hard sequence to stabilise. Well in the handstand, had a slightly unsteady start. Different sort of balance position there, a classical arabesque. Quite a big adjustment on that final tumbling pass, but it's a good performance from Dimitar Dimitrov. Difficulty-wise, one expects him to give away a little to Milad Karimi, so much will come down to the crispness of his performance, and we've already seen Eddie Penev step up quite a bit in execution. Just wonder about the stability of some of those landings by comparison. And one of the things that's going to be very interesting to see as we look at execution scores is contemplating how much, I'm sure you could see there quite a cross-legged landing, and the adjustment is how much is going to get lost on some of the balance positions as the gymnasts get more used to putting them into their performances. It's the sort of display, this, from Dimitrov, where there are just little incremental deductions here and there. There is no one enormously glaring moment. Think about some of the tidiness in flight compared to what we saw from Milad Karimi, the clarity of the body positions. .13.1 for Dimitar Dimitrov, and it is the lowest execution score that we've seen so far. Interestingly, he's lost a tenth of difficulty as well from qualification. Now this is going to be very interesting. Natsumi Kazuki of Japan, who scored 13.5 in the preliminary round. This was the best executed piece of gymnastics of all of the qualifiers. 8.6. For reasons like that. It's a very dynamic tumbler. Twists nicely, steady landings. pass just has a tiny adjustment, but it's hard to spot. Quite a smooth move to handstand, barely a flicker once he gets into position. And that's a good balance with nice toe point. Very streamlined. Easy to see why this gentleman won the floor title at the Specialist Championships in September. Oh, he has a little difficulty stabilising that pike position at the very end. That will cost some execution tenths. There's a nice looking pike in flight. As I mentioned, it is now compulsory that the gentlemen on floor have to dismount with a double salto. We'll see a fair bit more of Matsumi Kazuki over the course of this weekend. He's made a number of finals. He is a good all-around gymnast. He won the bronze medal at the Japanese Senior Championships last year, albeit a Senior Championships with some notable absenteeism due to the presence of the Olympiad. It's a particularly nice handstand. Look at this balance position, which had more style than we've seen so far. Second place, 13.6, but the highest execution, and no surprises there. He just is lower on difficulty, quite a bit lower, 8 tenths behind Milad Karimi. So Karimi remains in the gold medal position. And now we're just going through the warm-up process for the second half of the finalists. This is how things look at the moment. Milad Karimi in the gold medal position, Matsumi Kazuki occupying silver, and Eddie Penev in bronze. We're now going to see Tapan Mohanty of India, Nazar Chepurny of Ukraine, neutral athlete Igor Sharamkov, another Ukrainian Yuri Yemelyanov. That's the young man there, he's only 17, youngest in the final. This is the only event that will take place as a standalone event today. Once we move into the men's parallel bars and the women's vault, we're going to alternate, so you'll see one from each of the disciplines, and that will mean that the final runs a little more quickly. It gives the judges time to evaluate one routine while we see the performance of another athlete in a different medal event. Well, he's a very interesting young man, Tapan Mohanty, 21, from Odisha in the east of India. He competed at the Asian Games in Hangzhou, has performed in some World Cup competitions, but huge congratulations to him, because last month he won the all-around gold medal, along with the team gold medal and the floor title at the Indian National Games. Big moment in his career. He's developed a lot lately. It's unfortunate, just not quite fully rotated, so he'll lose a full mark. And unfortunately now that's rather bled into the next tumbling pass. He's from a very interesting sporting background. Tapan Mohanty started in something very different. Have to make sure that that scale is sustained and held. Well, I hope he's okay there, Tapan Mohanty. Just looks in a little discomfort as he's leaving the competition floor. Had a couple of unfortunate landings early on. As I was saying about him earlier, very interesting sporting background. He actually started life as a wrestler. His father was a very fine state-level wrestler, and I'm sure many of you know India is a wrestling mad country. He went to see a competition at the Puri Indoor Stadium. He is from the city of Puri in Odisha state, and that was it for him. Gymnastics was everything from that moment onwards. He scored 12.6 in the preliminary round. The execution was one of the lower qualifying execution scores. And unfortunately here it will be a fair bit lower than that because of those two tricky landings. But nonetheless, huge congratulations to him on a very good start to his 2025. He chose not to, at the end of the routine, attempt a double salto. And that is very much a choice that the athlete and the coach have to make, and safety has got to be the primary concern. So just kept it simple. Wise move. Well done to him on that bit of judgment. Huge congratulations to you, Tapan Mohanty, on the all-around floor and team gold medal at the National Games of India recently. So unfortunately his score here is 8.933, 5.133 for execution. And he also loses quite a bit of difficulty, 8/10 compared to qualifying. The Ukrainian Nazar Cheperny, 13.1 in qualification. World Championship medalist on vault in 2023. Along with lots of other accomplishments, including Youth Olympic titles. First flare work we've seen. Quite a wobbly Y scale. It's been the most common choice of the gymnasts so far. Very stable at the conclusion. Nazar Cheperny, who picked up an 8 for execution, a 5.1 for difficulty, so 13.1 overall. Winner of 14 World Cup medals, Nazar Cheperny. The last title that he won, 5 of them have been gold, was in this very building on vault in 2024. Absolutely one of the finest vaulters in the world. Bit of knee bend in the pike position. Carry a small deduction. Does well to stay in bounds with that hop forwards. It's going to really take some doing to dislodge Milad Karimi at the top of the leaderboard. There is somebody coming up in a moment who's got the difficulty to do it. So Karimi 14.3, Natsumi 13.6, Penev 13.466, but we have a change now. Nazar Chepurny 13.633. Execution 8.433, some very secure landings. So he's improved by over half a mark from the preliminary round. Silver medal position for Chepurny with 2 to go. Igor Sharamkov, 13.266 in qualification. But there's potential for that execution score to really move up. Very accomplished tumbler, the 26-year-old. Won the bronze medal on floor at the European Championships in 2020. This is looking considerably better from an execution standpoint compared to qualification. Holds his arabesque quite well. Well, that will likely have an impact on the podium. Igor Sharamkov, who scored 13.233 in qualification. Just a correction to that, 13.266 in qualification. 5.7 for difficulty. Does get the knees nice and tightly into the chest. .6 plus to get onto the podium. 14.3, somewhere at the top of the leaderboard by 2/3 of a mark. Just one more performance to come after this. It will be Yuri Emelianov. Yes, no surprise. Change in the leaderboard. 14.6, Igor Sharamkov goes into the gold medal position over Milad Karimi. 5.8 for difficulty, he added an extra 10th. His execution 8.8. Now there's going to be the Ukrainian on the podium. Question is who? Yuri Yemelyanov is now performing with Nazar Chiperny in the bronze medal position. This young man who's making his senior international debut this season. Scored 12.633 in the qualification round. Did well to stabilise that. Wasn't the tidiest, but he held on. Just giving a little away here and there with some of these landings. I think that's the first manner position that we've seen. A lot of the gymnasts in this final are very well known to us, very seasoned competitors. It's nice to see the next generation starting to come through. It's not a bad arabesque at all. That didn't have clarity, that's a shame. All was not as it should have been going into that last tumbling pass. But there's a lot to like about this youngster's gymnastics. Just remember, he's only 17. Competed at the Junior World Championships in Antalya in 2023 and last year's Junior European Championships in Rimini. So this is very much part of the learning process for Yuri Yemelyanov. Ukraine has got such a track record of sending gymnasts out into World Cup competition on a very regular basis to get competition experience. So he will doubtless benefit just from chatting to gentlemen like Nazar Chiperny. Next, Chiperny seemed like a grizzled veteran. He's only 22, but he's, by comparison to Yemelyanov, 11.933. So actually he was on course to better his qualification score had he not had that fall at the end. That brings to a close the men's floor final. The classified results in the men's floor competition: bronze to Nazar Chiperny of Ukraine, silver is won by Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan, and Igor Sharamkov takes the gold medal with a score of 14.6. The finalists in the women's vault competition. Tasha Kiselev of Slovenia, Mishka Argowal of India, Oksana Chusevitna from Uzbekistan, Deniz Aliyeva gets a big cheer, home gymnast, Greta Moyer of Hungary, Bengisi Yildiz of Turkey, Slovenia's Teja Belak, and Protista Samanta of India. Now the men's parallel bars finalists. Matsumi Kazuki of Japan, Ilyas Azizov of Kazakhstan, his teammate Dmitry Patinin, Yone Jimshelishvili of Georgia, Eta Vefic of Serbia, Altan Dogan of Turkey, Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine, and Levan Shkiladze of Georgia. Great for the Georgians to have qualified 2 gentlemen for this men's parallel bars final. Looking forward to having a look at them. The finalists in the men's parallel bars competition, and we'll get started with the top performer in the preliminary round, Matsumi Kazuki of Japan, who scored 14.1 with a 9.0 for execution. Can he maintain that in this final? What about the challenge from Nazar Cheperny? He'll be the penultimate gymnast to go. He was the second best in qualifying with a score of 13.7. The women's vault final. Top performer in qualification was Teja Belak of Slovenia. She will be the last to go. Her score was 13.349. The second best was Oksana Chusevitna, 13.266. Once again, when it comes to men's artistic gymnastics, we are down to 8 counting skills, not 10. That applies also to the parallel bars, just as it did to the floor competition. Not as many changes to women's gymnastics, but there is a new bonus system for vaulting. So, beginning this season, a 0.2 bonus, so 2/10 will be added to the final scores of gymnasts who do 1 vault with a forward salto off the table and a 2nd vault with a backward salto. Or, of course, it can be the other way round, but essentially there need to be vaults going in different directions. And they do actually have to land the vault successfully in order to get the credit for that, so they must not have full or full mark deduction. We did have some of the gymnasts picking up that 0.2 bonus, like Chasha Kiselev. Oksana Chusevitna did the same, and Teja Belak and Baptista Samanta. So 4 of the 8 were recipients of the 0.2 bonus. Looking there at Yone Jimshelishvili, 25-year-old from Tbilisi, as is his teammate Levan Shkiladze, who will be going next, or in the next group, I should say. And yes, there she is, back from her latest retirement. One of gymnastics' all-time greats. 49 now, Oksana Chusevitna. And the winner of the bronze medal in Cottbus, that extraordinary and wonderful Cottbus podium. And let us, on International Women's Day, have a celebration for a World Cup podium on vault in Cottbus that had a combined age of 110. Gymnasts like Oksana Chusevitna, like Chasha Kiselev, like Teja Belak, absolutely confounding the outdated stereotyping about the age of gymnasts, and when your peak form is, when your best years are. It's been proven to be a load of old nonsense, and it's a good thing that it is really a thing of the past now. So on International Women's Day, here's to some inspirational women from all over the world in this vault competition. It's going to be a veteran to get us started. Tjasa Kiselev of Slovenia. 4th best in qualifying, 13.133. She won the silver medal at the Cottbus World Cup at the start of the season. Said it was 100% worth going to the gym, even on those days when she wanted to throw everything away. She begins with the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. Did have a little lack of tidiness in some of the work in the flight. But that is one of the most difficult vaults we're going to see in this final, based on the qualification scores. 4.6. The 31-year-old scored 13 for this vault in qualifying. .3. Second vault. Yes, well performed. Let's bring front tuck full. Now, Matsumi Kazuki of Japan, top performer in qualification. This was so well executed in the preliminary round. She's got lovely straight lines. Maybe a tiny bit of leg separation there. Isn't this nice to watch though? It's ever so fluid, and yet he becomes completely still when he needs to be. Are it's a very smooth looking tip out. Oh, that's lovely. There will be more difficult routines to come, but in terms of clarity, that should do rather nicely. .283 for Tjasa Kiselev, so she does have the 0.2 bonus, as she did in qualifying. 12.866 for the second vault. So overall, she is a little up from the preliminary round. Nishka Argawal of India, the 7th best in qualification. She's only 17, and she's just won the vault title at the 38th National Games of India. Huge congratulations to her. She begins with the layout at Tsukahara. Full twist added to that to produce a 4.4 difficulty. Very special moment for her when she won the Indian all-around junior championship in 2023, ending her state's 12-year wait for a national medal in gymnastics at the competition. This vault scored 12.733 in the preliminary round. And a little up here, 12.833. Same execution, but she had a 0.1 penalty in the qualification phase. So this is her second vault, Nishka Argawal. And regrettably, issues with the full twisting Yurchenko. Meanwhile, 14.2 for Matsumi Kazuki. He's actually managed to find a way to get some extra execution marks. A 10th better than the preliminary round. That is lovely gymnastics. Yes, Azizov. His score was 13.4 in qualification. 25-year-old from Kazakhstan. Just took a pace or two with the hands. Well performed. He needs a little stability coming out of the pike landing. But on the whole, some tidy gymnastics from Ilyas Azizov, who has competed at 5 World Championships. Didn't make any finals in Cottbus at the first World Cup. 12.149 for Nishka Argawal. That's the average score. Now, Oksana Chusovitna. Just a matter of a few months away from her 50th birthday. The 8-time Olympian, who was the second best in qualification. That's very secure. Strong beginning this from Oksana Chusovitna. Gets really quickly into the desired position when she makes contact with the table. Yeah, she knows that went well. It's a tidy looking bit of vaulting. She is, by the way, the reigning Uzbekistan all-around national champion too. Did have to go back to trying the all-around to make it to Paris 2024. But certainly an upgrade there for Oksana Chusovitna. In terms of the difficulty that we've seen of late. Fascinating, isn't it, at the age of 49, upgrading the difficulty. Yeah, she's got a 4.8 difficulty score, 13.733. 4/10 higher than qualification, so she's absolutely put herself now as the likely gold medalist if she can deliver a secure second vault. Vault number 2 for Oksana Chusovitna. Yes. Handspring front pike half. Well, well, well, what a joy to watch. 13 for Ilyas Azizov. He's down a bit in execution from qualification. Dimitri Patanin, 12.8 in qualification. Quite nicely performed. Execution was 7.8 in qualification. He's won some World Cup honours in his career. Well, if the cap fits, wear it. Chusseau has gone into the gold medal position, 13.516. So it was only a 4.0 difficulty, the second vault. She was indicating a handspring front pike half. So that is exactly what she's come away with credit for. Just wondered if it was laid out, but it was certainly piked. Deniz Aliyeva of Azerbaijan. Good first vault from her, the full twisting Yurchenko. She's only 15, Deniz Aliyeva. Made her senior international debut in Cottbus last week. She knows this arena very well. She trains at the Olchak Sports Club, which is very much at the heart of the National Gymnastics arena. It's an enormous gymnastics club. Whenever you go to Azerbaijan and you meet people connected with the sport, they always seem to have something to do with Olchak Sports Club. There are quite a lot of gymnastics clubs in the country, but it's overwhelmingly the biggest. Just to mention, by the way, that Oksana Chusevitna picked up the .2 bonus, just as Kisser left it. 12.5 for Aliyeva. She's done well. Dimitri Patanin, 13.4. That's quite a bit up in terms of execution from qualification, where he scored 12.8. Jimshileshvili of Georgia. He's competed at 2 World Championships. We haven't seen him on that stage since 2019. This is his 11th World Cup competition and just the second time he's made a final, so big congratulations to him. There's a little positional reset going up into handstand. And he lands nicely too. Good performance from the Georgian. He's used to giving performances. He's a highly accomplished guitarist. Bronze medal position for Aliyeva, 12.483. A 12.466 for the layout Sukahara, the second vault. It is Chusovitina who leads, then Kiselev. Oksana Chusovitina in the gold medal position, 13.516. That's going to ask a question of Taya Belak, who was the top qualifier with 13.349. Now over on the parallel bars, we've got Petr Vefic, Altan Dogan, Nazar Ciperni and Levan Shkiladze to come. And one of those was in the top three in qualification. That's Nazar Ciperni, who scored 13.7 in the preliminary round. Hope you're enjoying all of the action so far from the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku. We've still got to come after this the uneven bars final and the rings final. The last vaulter will be Pratista Samanta of India. Gymnast who competed at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022. Twelve and a half for Ioni Jimshelishvili. That's better than qualification by almost 2/10. Do have a look at some of his guitar videos on social media. They're very entertaining. Knows what he's doing. As does Matsumi Kazuki, because he's well and truly in the lead by 0.8 of a mark. Kazakhstan peloton at the moment. European Games vault champion from 2019, Taya Belak, and more recently the winner of the first World Cup title of the season in Cottbus, 30-year-old who is going to have a real challenge to try to surpass Oksana Chusovitina because of that 0.4 upgrade that we saw from Chuso. Greta Moya of Hungary, 13.183 in qualification. She was the third best. Had a fantastic clean sweep of vault titles nationally last year. She won the Hungarian event championships along with the Masters championships. That's excellent. Very clean full twisting Yurchenko to start with. Feet very together, good central line, nice landing with a flourish. That was well performed. just 18 years of age. Greta Moya already has competed at 2 World Championships and 3 consecutive European Championships. .266. I thought that would probably be an improvement from qualification, and she's up by close to 2 tenths. 9.066 for execution. Second vault, this we expect to be a little more complicated. Twisting Tsukahara from Greta Moya. Let's see what that means for the scoreboard. Could be a challenge laid down. Petar Vefic of Serbia, 12.6 in qualification. He was 4th on parallel bars at the Varna World Challenge Cup in 2023. That was his first final in World Cup competition. Forms the Diamidov nicely. Got decent height on his straddle front somersault. A very small adjustment in the arms. Just working hard to get the strength going up into that handstand. And a nice light looking landing, well controlled by Petar Vefic. Now surely a change to the leaderboard is coming. Yes, Greta Moya has gone into the bronze medal position, 13.266. Very close to Sasha Kiselev, despite not having the bonus and not having the same difficulty, 2 tenths shy. Difficulty as well, but the execution was very strong. Bengüsü Yıldız of Turkey. That's nicely to begin. Like Greta Moya, she'll perform her more difficult vault second. Twisting Yurchenko to start. She finished 2024 by defending her all-around national championship. Great accomplishment. She has been the national champion on vault as well. .7 to begin. So the execution is a little down from qualification. She has a loss of close to 4 tenths. Fault number 2 for the teenager from Turkey. That lacked a little clarity, but she did land it securely enough. 13.033 for Petar Vefic, really well done. He's well up from qualification by almost half a mark. It's a great improvement. Still it is Matsumi Kazuki who leads. Altan Dogan of Turkey, 4th best in qualifying with a score of 12.8. He's one of the next generation of Turkish gymnasts coming through. A nation with such an extraordinary parallel bars lineage. So he's got no shortage of people to learn from. One wonders just how much time he's spent in the course of his career watching Ferhat Arujan, watching Ahmed Under. Just thinking, if I could get close to what those gentlemen can do, I'd be well on my way. Quite compressed as he lands. Does well not to take a full mark on that. .666. The second vault was a 12.633. That full twisting Tsukahara. So no change to the leaderboard in the women's vault competition. But now we go to the top performer in the preliminary round, Teja Belak of Slovenia. 13.349. So what she's really got to do is push up the execution score for the first vault if she is going to challenge Oksana Chusovitna, because there's room to gain a little more. Well, it's slightly awkward as she lands. Complicated vaulting though. Yes, that's interesting. She scored 12.933 for the first vault in qualification. .833. So it is down by 1/10. Second vault from Teja Belak. That was very tidy looking, the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko. One imagines that Oksana Chusovitna will remain at the top of the leaderboard. 12.833 for Altan Dogan. He's in 5th place. So in the men's parallel bars, Petar Vefic of Serbia is in 3rd place. And Dimitri Patanin of Kazakhstan, then Matsumi Kazuki. We could well have a change here from the penultimate gymnast, Nazar Cheperny, who scored 13.7 in qualifying. Seemed to lose a bit of the kineticism there. Quite a big overarch. Good recovery. It's just struggling to keep that straight handstand position. Yes, that was just one of those days. So, it'll be interesting to see how much comes off the execution score there. Second place for Taya Belak, 13.366. She also has the 0.2 bonus. As we expected, Oksana Chusevitna stays in the gold medal position. This is Pratista Samanta of India. 12.733 in the qualifying phase, the Commonwealth Games gymnast. Just recently won full colours at the National Games of India. Quite a lot of amplitude in the first vault. Yes, well performed. Handspring front pike with the half twist. She represents the Indian Railways team domestically. Started competing for them a couple of years ago, won the Team National Championship in January 2024. The score for this vault in qualifying was 12.6. Not far off it in this final, 12.566. Last vault of this final, and that was secure looking. Samanta of India, difficulty wise it is unlikely to have the numbers to contend with the top three, but performed very competently. Now we're going to conclude the men's parallel bars competition with Levan Shkiladze of Georgia. Gentleman who made the pommel horse final at the European Championships last year. Tidy enough. Difficulty-wise, again, not the most complicated of performances, but it had its moments. I'm not sure that Levan Shkiladze agrees, because he was shaking his head as he departed the podium. 12.9 for Nazar Chiperni, 7.3 for execution. So that is a real shame. Well down from qualifying, 0.8 lower. Pratista Samanta, 12.766, she's into 5th place. That was a good effort. Shame in losing some arm wrestling to a gymnast. Waiting for this last score to come in, and then we'll bring you the classified results. The women's vault competition. These are the finalists. We've already seen the final, so let's have a look at some results soon. .533 for Levan Shkiladze, that has him in 7th position. Mascots now also providing a tailoring and haberdashery service. Again, those are the lists of the finalists, not the results. We'll get those confirmed for you just as soon as we can. Tell you that Oksana Chusovitna has won the women's vault competition, and Matsumi Kazuki has won the men's parallel bars. We'll bring you formal confirmation of those results just as soon as we can. Meanwhile, we'll move on to the next set of finals. The last set of finals, indeed. So these are the finalists in the men's rings competition. Head over to the uneven bars. These are the finalists in the last women's event of the day. Some very familiar faces in these finals and some new names as well. And all of it taking place here at the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku. The second World Cup event of the season. Finalists in the uneven bars competition. Top in qualifying, Yona Sitavets, a score of 13.766, very high degree of difficulty, 6.1. The second best qualifier, Rong Jinyi, the People's Republic of China, will be the first to go. She was only just about 2/10 below. Just over a tenth. The men's rings final and the top in qualifying. Azerbaijan's own Nikita Simonov. 14.2 was his score. And he will be wanting a special performance at the National Gymnastics Arena after he missed the final at the last World Cup that took place here. in 2024, and it was a very crucial missing out on the final because he didn't manage to get the Olympic qualification berth. It was the brilliant veteran Armenian Baku Davtyan who managed to qualify for the games in what was a very competitive still rings process. So one imagines that for Simonov there's a desire here to get back out and do what he wished he'd been able to do a year ago. And had representation from the People's Republic of China in Meng Jiwei, silver medalist on rings at the National Championships last year. Moments away from the last two finals of the day, the men's rings and the women's uneven bars. Warm-up still taking place in the bars competition. We're looking at Nakamura Haruka of Japan. Some interesting work going on from her, always is. She often gives you some skills that you don't see in many other routines. Luka Bojans of Slovenia, silver medalist at his home World Cup event in Koper last year. Just made it into this final with a score of 12.366. And Maltese combined. Not quite as steady that time, going from planche down into Maltese, but he got through it with decent form. Pikes into a secure looking landing. That was a nice finish, wasn't it, from Luka Bojans? 27-year-old from Novo Miesto, in the southeast of Slovenia, near the border with Croatia. Very beautiful part of Europe. We begin the women's uneven bars final with Li Rongjinyi, the People's Republic of China, 13.633 in qualification. Very nice somersault. Kachev was secure. Back salto likewise. Should score quite well. Oh, well, that just seemed to come out of nowhere. That's unfortunate because there's a lot that was ever so good early on from this 15-year-old. So some problems for the second best in qualification. Nice double layout to conclude the routine. Very nearly. It's a very well-performed gymnastics there from the athlete who got the silver medal on the uneven bars at the Asian Junior Championships last year. Kaboyant's 13.533. Well done, sir. That's well up from qualification. He's gained 9/10. He's actually put himself into medal contention there. Natsumi Kazuki, third best in qualifying with 13.533, but we've just seen that number from Boyants. He's 27, Natsumi, from the city of Osaka, but now lives in Tokyo. Looks very in control in his strength elements. Nice iron cross. He's a gymnast who doesn't give you great cause for concern. He looks as though he's got time. He looks smooth and in control, and he is.
Please welcome the Baku city of Slovenia.
12.3 for Li Rongjinyi. That is a mark and a third lower than the preliminary round, unfortunately. Sacrificing quite a bit of difficulty as well, as you would expect due to those issues. This will give a chance to other gymnasts, particularly Lucia Hribar of Slovenia, World Cup champion from her home event in Koper last year, and an Olympian from Paris. Straddle Jaeger somersault. Kachev into a pack salto, nicely performed. All of this looking very secure. And a double tuck to dismount. Well, that's certainly going to go into the lead. Lucia Hribar of Slovenia. 13.666, no doubt about Natsumi's value to lead. Over 8.5 for execution. Vladislav Riko of Ukraine competed at the Olympiad in Rio, was actually a bronze medalist on the still rings back at the Youth Olympic Games in China in 2014, where he also won a silver medal on the pommel horse. He's actually yet to win World Cup honours. He's finished several times in the top 5. Jonassen combination just about kept his tidiness going up into handstand. Has quite a few adjustment steps as he lands. The difficulty score for Vladriko in qualifying was 4.9. 13.233. Lucia Hribar is in the gold medal position, and she's up by over 2/10 from qualification, so that's made a case to get on the podium. To Alyona Titavets of the group of independent neutral athletes. 16-year-old who was the top qualifier with 13.766. That's an interesting Shaposhnikova variation from the Komova group, I think. The more conventional Van Leeuwen. Struggling a bit with some of the form here and there, but powering through it into the straddle Jaeger. It's not hugely swingful. But it's complicated, and she's performed it well. .7 for Vlad Frico. Meng Jiwei of the People's Republic of China. A 22-year-old from Guangxi province won the silver medal at the National Championships on rings last year. Nicely controlled Maltese. And there the extended arm handstand, the inverted cross, first of those we've seen. Lovely planche. It's quite well controlled. Very piped as he landed, quite a jarred sense of impact with the mat. 13.4, Zitovets goes into the lead. Execution not as strong as qualifying, by about a third of a mark for all of the reasons that I was discussing. Nakamura Haruka of Japan, the reigning junior all-around champion of the world. Still only 16. And she's also the junior Asian champion on the bars. Was the third best in qualification. Oh, unfortunate. Was performing that Hristakieva. Full twisting Giga somersault. Well, we've seen the second best in qualification have some issues, and the top performer. The third best performer, I should say. The top performer had minor issues. She does do some interesting work, doesn't she? That's her own skill, that piked Delchev. She's always entertaining. It's a great dismount as well. And we just remind ourselves she's still only 16. A long way to go. It'll be enjoyable to watch it. Now leading is Meng Jiwei of the People's Republic of China, 13.8. He's up 3/10 from qualification. So more controlled performance. And that brings us to the second half, with Meng Jiwei in the lead, Matsumi Kazuki in second place, and Luca Boyant's third in the men's rings competition.
İkincisi balon Alman Gymnastics'inde Azerbaycan milli komandasının üstüdür ve halkalar üzerinde çıkarılır kadar Simonov Bey'in Hogben'e yüksek seviyede çıkışlarıyla 2021'de Kolya şehirde İslam Muhammed'in oyunlarında fərli çoxluğu ile 15. yeri komandasının ise 4. yeri tutmuştur. 2024'cü yılda Simonov büyük uğurları imzalamıştır. Fevral ayında Korpus şehirde Dünya Kupası'nda halkalar üzerinde
home hope, and certainly the favourite to take the title, Nikita Simonov. Just waiting to bring you the score for Haruka. And then we'll be able to show you the intermediary standings in the women's uneven bars competition. World Cup medalist on rings, Yunus Gündoğdu of Turkey, going through his warm-up. He'll be the second to last to go. And then after this, we'll bring you all of the ceremonies. .12.5 the score for Nakamura Haruka. 6 for difficulty, up 4/10 from qualification, so it shows you what that routine is capable of being. She's very aspirational. She's doing some complicated gymnastics. She's currently in the bronze medal position at the halfway stage. It's Alyona Tsitavets ahead of Lucia Riba. First and second. Alex Diab from the United States of America. Reigning 3-time national champion on the rings. Second time that he's competed at the Baku World Cup. He was 5th in 2022. Comes from a fine gymnastics family. His father Mark was a collegiate gymnast. His sister Maddie also competed in the university system, both of them for Iowa State. Well, isn't that nice? It's just got a sense of poise and control about it. Beautiful move up into handstand. Very enjoyable. A lot of polished and crisp gymnastics on the rings from Alex Diab of the USA.
Please welcome China. Please welcome Master Sofia, Croatia.
Sofia Mester of Croatia. 16-year-old gymnast who competed at her home World Cup, the Osijek World Cup last year, where she was 7th on the bars. Really gave her confidence. She went on to win the silver medal at the National Championships a couple of months after that. It's always been her apparatus. She actually said that the bars chose her more than she chose them. She's always felt she's a faster learner on the bars than any other piece. So good luck to her. There's potential for somebody unexpected to win a medal in this final. Nice Jaeger. Salto well performed too. Just the Maloney to move from low to high, and then into the Ginger somersault. Has to build that swingfulness up and make sure she hits the handstand position. Yes, well done to her. Sofia Mester from Croatia. Second place for Alexander Diab, 13.766. Just behind Meng Jiwei, a matter of hundredths. Levan Shkiladze of Georgia. Little piked as he went into that planche position. Got the control and the tidiness back now. Dismounts quite well. 7th best in qualification with a score of 12.633. Lowest difficulty of any qualifier. Nearly, Sofia Mester, 12.433. She hasn't quite made the podium. Execution way better than Nakamura Haruka, but giving away 9/10 of difficulty. That's a very good effort though from Mester. Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China, another 15-year-old, another new senior. Chance to build experience here in Baku. She was the 7th best qualifier. Was good. The Jaeger had a little more amplitude. Much that was well performed there by Chu Yiming. A 5.3 difficulty in qualification. 12.6 for Shkiladze.
Azerbaijan.
Now the favourite for the rings title. 27-year-old Nikita Simonov from Azerbaijan. European Championship silver medalist last year. Lots of strength shown there. Inverted cross. Very nice line on that Maltese. No issues of stability in the handstand position. One of the most level shoulder presentations we've seen. Flickers the legs a tiny amount, but quite incidental. That's a very good dismount as well. That's going to change the leaderboard. Azerbaijan's own Nikita Simonov. He's waited a year for that moment. One can only imagine how he felt when things did not go his way at the World Cup in Baku. He saw the hopes of an Olympiad start to fade. 12.533, Chu Yiming goes into the bronze medal position. Takutsuki Ayu of Japan, 5th with 12.866. Competitive difficulty. Very hard to build the swingfulness back up after making a somersault. She did well. It's Pike Jaeger. So important to get right up to handstand to avoid commonplace deductions. Some good work from Takutsuki Ayu. I don't think that's a surprise at all. 14.233. Nikita Simonov is the leader, quite comfortably so. Just one gymnast to go in each of the finals now. Yunus Gündoğdu of Turkey, very experienced, he's 27 now. And he has been a national championship medalist on the rings. Good height going up into that planche. It's interesting to see it from the other side. Really get a sense of the straightness of the legs. Very nice tight Yamawaki position. And that's a big old dismount from Yunus Gündoğdu. Really attacked that. She's into the bronze medal position. Takutsuki Ayu, 13.2. So Chu Yiming goes down into 4th place. Last to go in this entire day of competition. Sara Šulikić of Croatia. 12.266. Preliminary round score. She's the national champion of the uneven bars. Establish that pike position nicely. Then the Kachev into the Ejeva. Grip variation working nicely. Well, a very enjoyable uneven bars final at the Baku World Cup, completed by the Croatian Sara Šulikić. 13.166 for Yunus Gündoğdu. He goes into 6th place. Really did get a nice tight diver's pike position, the first release element. There's the straddle catcher, varying the grip going into the Ejeva. So it was a lovely skill to watch performed. Uses the Maloney skill to go back up to high. Real back bend in the pack salto. Maloney's half turn to make it the Van Leeuwen. Keeping things simple from a dismount point of view, which will have an impact on the score because it's not as complex as as stipulated.
Please welcome
13.033.
Turkey.
Fourth position for Sara Shulikic. The performance of Leslie Savranbasi of Turkey, because this is a 9-strong final. She was joint 8th place in qualification with Shulikic. Anka was well performed, as was the dismount. Little stability adjustment afterwards. Gymnast who has been a World Cup champion on the uneven bars, won in Mersin in her home country in 2019. So, plenty of experience on this apparatus. The Olympian from Tokyo. Some little form issues here and there which will affect the overall execution score.
The finalist performances in this round has ended.
That brings to a close the action. We've just got the scores and the presentations to come. We'll come back tomorrow for more of the same, as Savranbasi scores 13 and finishes in 5th place. Good display from the joint 8th best qualifiers, occupying 4th and 5th on the podium. The classified results in the men's rings competition: bronze to Alex Diab of the USA, silver going to Meng Jiwei of the People's Republic of China, and the gold medal won at home by Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan. Commiserations to Natsumi Kazuki, who just missed out by 1/10 on a place on the podium. The uneven bars results: the bronze medal going to Tokitsuki Ayu of Japan. Just above her, Lucia Hribar of Slovenia. Great performance of the experienced gymnast in World Cup competition. The Olympian from Paris, Alyona Titavets, winning the gold medal with 13.4. Only 2/10 separating the front three. Good display from the 8th best qualified, joint 8th best qualifier, Sara Shulikic of Croatia, leading the chasing pack. Some very entertaining gymnastics in that uneven bars final. Let's just catch up on those parallel bars results. Petar Vefic of Serbia winning the bronze medal. Great performance from him. Dmitry Patinin of Kazakhstan securing silver, and Natsumi Kazuki of Japan taking the gold medal. Beautifully executed routine. The women's vault competition won by Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan, with Teya Belak taking the silver medal and Chasa Kiselev winning the bronze. The same gymnast from the Cottbus final. So once again we've got that brilliant podium with the combined age of 110, but a different order this time. Presentations to come. Coming up in just a moment, the award ceremonies at the WAG Apparatus World Cup and the presentation of the AGF trophy.
Aziz dostlar, hörmətli xanımlar və cənablar, mükafatlandırma mərasimində başlayın.
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the award ceremony. Please welcome the medalists.
It's time for the award ceremonies at the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku, Azerbaijan. This is the victory ceremony for the floor competition for men.
İdman gimnastikasında Dünya Kupası'nda gimnastlar serbest hareketlerde mükafatlandırma mərasimində başlayın.
The award ceremony opens to exercise final. Third place and bronze medals to Nazar, Ukraine.
The winner of the bronze medal, Nazar of Ukraine. Kazakhstan's Milad Karimi winning the silver medal. Igor Sharamkov winning the gold.
Congratulations!
Tebrik ederim.
Medalists in the men's floor competition. Victory ceremony for the women's vault competition at the Baku World Cup.
İdman gimnastikasında dünya kupasında
It was the women's gold final. Third place and bronze medalist is Slovenia.
The winner of the bronze medal, Chasha Kiselev of Slovenia. Second World Cup medal of the season. And likewise for silver medalist Teja Belak of Slovenia. And likewise for the gold medalist Oksana Chusovidna of Uzbekistan. The same podium as we saw in Cottbus for the first World Cup, a different order. It is the 49-year-old who is a World Cup champion once again. An upgrade to what we've seen of late from her. As if we needed any further proof of her ambition and her determination. A combined age of 110. How's that for an International Women's Day podium?
Please stand and show your respect for the national anthem of Uzbekistan.
There they are, the medalists in the women's vault competition in Baku. Continue the presentations in just a moment. The victory ceremony in the men's parallel bars competition. Huge congratulations to Petar Vefic, a first ever World Cup medal. He takes bronze. Dmitry Patin of Kazakhstan is the winner of the silver medal. And there is the champion, Natsumi Kazuki of Japan. Really lovely display from Natsumi. He takes his second medal at a Baku World Cup.
Please stand and show respect for the national anthem of Japan.
Medalists in the men's parallel bars competition. Uneven bars final. The award ceremony.
The award ceremony for women uneven bars final. Third place and bronze medalist, Tokutsuki Ayu, Japan.
Tokutsuki Ayu of Japan, bronze medalist in her first World Cup competition. The winner of the silver medal, Tia Hribar of Slovenia, the Olympian from Paris. And the title won by Alyona Tidavets, competing as an independent neutral athlete.
Please stand and show respect for the national anthem of AIM.
Medalists in the women's uneven bars competition. ceremonies with the men's rings competition.
İdman Gymnastics'da Dünya Kupası'nda gimnastlardan almalarda kaçamanlarda da manasına başlayır.
The award ceremony for rings final. Third place and bronze medalist Alexander, USA.
Winner of the bronze medal, Alexander Diab of the United States of America. Silver to Meng Jiwei of the People's Republic of China. And a home gold medal for Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan.
Please stand and show your respect for the national anthem of Azerbaijan. Medalists
in the men's rings competition. Medal events taking place today, 5 more to come tomorrow. And part of the qualification process is the award of the AGF trophy. This is presented to the gymnasts who have the highest execution scores from the preliminary round. It's not part of the official FIG awards. It's an honorary award given by the Azerbaijan Federation. The winners are Nazar Chepurny of Ukraine and Greta Moya of Hungary. That brings to a close our coverage on the first day of the finals of the Baku World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. Hope you'll be able to join us for more action tomorrow as we bring you the remaining 5 finals. Until then, it's goodbye.
Aziz dostlar, bununla birinci final günümüzü başlattı. Sabah hamımızı ikinci final gününü gösterir. 12:00'da sabah günü.